Viewer from Duluth wants to talk about pension funds. When is the legislature going to deal with the $17 billion public pension fund deficits? Viewer claims that the deficits have increased over $1 billion in the last year, is worried about this issue, thinks the changes made in 2013 weren't enough. Is there anything going to happen on that this session? Who wants to take a run at that?
Pick me, pick me.
All right, you're on.
And I am on the Pension Commission. That's
Well, that's right. That's right. We picked the right person there.
Pick me on that. We just on Tuesday evening finished up the 2014 omnibus not tax bill, that's coming later, the pension bill. And what has happened is we've discovered that Minnesota has been receiving on average about 8 to 8.5% return on the money over the last 30 years that we've had in the pensions. Problem is that's our target. So one would say, okay, so if you're hitting your target with where you want to be, things would be great. We're still finding that in our various pensions we are underfunded anywhere from, or I should say, putting it in the positive, we are funded anywhere from about 48% in some of the state pensions up to about 72, 74%, depending upon which of the pensions you're looking at. There is an unfunded liability in the pension plans. Teachers' pension, police and fire pensions, MSRS, which is a vast majority of state employees, of about 16 to 17 billion. It's an awful lot because it's about a third of what the state's budget would be in any given biennium, just to kind of put that into perspective. It's not as bad as some states. The state of Illinois just announced, I had seen some research on it, are about 118 billion. So we are 100 million better off than they are. Hawaii is at about 15 million. So it just gives you kind of an idea. Billion, excuse me, yes. I'm still used to thinking of numbers in local government context than I am in state context. But nonetheless, it's a large unfunded liability. Some of the things that we did do in the pension plan, which is a positive this year, is the contributions that the employees will be making, as well as contributions that their employing entities of government will be paying, are going to increase. That was a trigger that was put into statute that says, as we get the actuarial reports back over a period of time, if we're not hitting the bogeys that we need to be at, there'll be automatic escalators. And this year's going up from anywhere from about 1/4% to 3/4%, depending upon which plan you're in, and if you're an employing entity versus an employee that's paying in. The biggest hurdle I see in the pension bill this year is that there are 2 teacher pension plans that are still freestanding, the Duluth Teacher Pension Plan and the St. Paul Teacher Pension Plan. There is about $15 million, $15 million a year that's being proposed in there from the state's general fund that would go into the Duluth Teacher Plan for the next several years, and several years is 20 to 25 years, at about $350 million by the time we're done to be able to shore that plan up and be able to meld it into the TRA plan, the State Teacher Retirement Plan. That plan right now has more people drawing from it than there are people paying into the plan, and I tend to believe with what the person from Duluth has said, we need to be looking at that and finding different ways to be able to support those. We've made promises to people, but we cannot continue to make this style of promise and still have these pension plans be solvent. I've shared with people, I think, that these are sort of canaries in the mine that are going to be some potential problems, and we have to really do some things to change people's philosophies on how those pension plans may end up working, and maybe look at a blended plan, a defined benefit with a defined contribution, or doing some changes when you come to employ in the public at a certain date. Your plans aren't going to be defined benefits, they're now going to be defined contributions, so that we can get our arms around that overall funding. Back to the 8 and 8.5%, again, we've hit those bogeys over those periods of time. We still find out that we're substantially underfunded to the 16, 17 billion. Long answer, short question. Sorry.
Complicated issue. Other comments on the pension plan? Should we start with you, Senator Cohn?
Well, I've never been on that committee, and so I really don't know a lot about it. I know that in the past few bienniums there's been some adjustments made on it, but from what I'm understanding here now from Representative O'Driscoll, that we're still not there yet. But there has been some movement, some change over the last couple of bienniums at least. But But it's a big issue.
Yeah, and I think in the Senate we're fortunate that we have subcommittees that work on that, because as you can see, it's a very complicated issue, and so it takes a lot of a big learning curve in order to understand the pensions. And so while neither one of us sit on that, we're very fortunate that we have good committee folks that really pay attention, and it's a tough committee to sit on, because it's a really large, complicated issue.
Any thoughts?
I don't, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I know well.
I should tell our viewers that one of the differences in Minnesota as compared to other states is that we do have a bipartisan pension commission, and that has been, however bad the problem is or however significant the problem is, and I'm not attempting to minimize it, but that is something that has been helpful and has perhaps kept it from being a little less of a political football than in other states.
One of the things that's unfortunate is the way things are right now, and you're always speculating on investments and where things are going to end up being. It's a committee that you have to have thick skin to be on, because you're actually having to make some very difficult decisions that are affecting hundreds of thousands of Minnesotans and their families every day, every year. And I'm up for the challenge. I've got a number of years in the financial services industry, so I really can talk the talk and walk the walk with the experts that we have and the actuaries that are there. Sometimes you feel like a wonk when you're in there doing those kinds of things, but I do know.
We knew that about you.
Thank you.
This isn't always a bad thing. This isn't always a bad thing.